Well, I don't know. You'd be like famous for like medical science.
Pretty sure in some circles I'm probably already a little bit famous because it gets. Trust me, this whole thing gets crazy. Almost instantly, I pass out and I'm on the floor, and I wake up and my face was just in between two parked cars in the road. Why are you so obsessed with my penis? Like, he just kept looking at it. I knew something was badly wrong, but I had no idea the extent. And she said like, you're the most important person here right now. Usually it takes about 4 hours. This is going to take 10 minutes. I was put into a coma because I was so bad. Okay. They actually used fentanyl to put me into the coma. So now I've legally done fentanyl. My heart actually stopped twice and I had to manually restart it. The time I thought I was on American Apprentice Masterchef on the boat, they chained me up and they told me that they were taking me to a prison in Malaysia where I was going to spend the rest of my life because they thought that I was a child molester.
Wow.
Yeah, and for what felt like about 2 days, I was chained up, just like waiting to be sent to a Malaysian prison.
Which was amazing as well because you in the dream couldn't move either.
Yeah.
Even before you were chained up.
Seriously, it
must have been a terrible child molester.
Hello, Internet. You're listening to the InYourHouse Comedy Podcast with the Babyface and his fellow funny friend. Now hold on to your butts. Keep your arms and legs inside the podcast at all times. Prepare to have an autographical orgasm in 3, 2, 1.
How are you?
All things considered, pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not in a coma anymore, so I can't complain.
Right then, tell me about it then.
Well, how would you know about it?
What you told me was that you had blood clots next to your lungs. It's quite funny that I naturally straight away assumed, oh, your ID or something.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that I OD'd at a certain point when I woke up. I was like, oh, I did it again.
I would assume myself if I did that, you know.
Well, this one, it was much more accidental. It's a wild story, by the way. Like the whole, it's a roller coaster.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll start day one.
Day one. Okay.
This was New Year's Eve as well. I woke up and I've been like quite short of breath, like basically like a month or two up to then, and it'd been getting worse and worse and worse. And I was when it calms down after Christmas time, I'm gonna go to the hospital. But New Year's Eve, I woke up. I remember I just walked downstairs, stood up for a little while, and I was really out of breath just from walking downstairs.
That what it was like, kind of like when you ran for too much, that kind of out of breath then?
Yes.
Okay.
I was like physically, I needed to get my breath back.
Tiny little things would.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just walked downstairs and I was like, okay, I'm going to sit down for a little while, get my breath back. I sat down and I physically couldn't get my breath back. I was sitting there for like about an hour and I was out of breath the whole time, just sitting there.
So, see, I can understand, like, at first you might think it's like a panic attack or something too.
If I had a panic attack, I went into a coma because of it, I think I'd actually just rather die. That'd be a sad way to go from a panic attack.
Well, I don't know, you'd be, like, famous for, like, medical science for the wrong reasons, but you'd be famous.
I'm pretty sure in some circles I'm probably already a little bit famous.
You might be.
Because it gets, trust me, this whole thing gets crazy.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, don't worry about it, seriously, we've got time.
Yeah.
But, basically, my dad comes downstairs and I tell him, I think I need to go to hospital. We call the...
do you want me to open like a...
No, you chill.
Okay. Is that if you do?
I'm good, but my dad calls like the ambulance service, and at first I'm kind of playing it down because I'm like, it's not that deep.
Yeah.
I can wait until after Christmas. But then my dad's like, you got to really be honest with them. So I say what's happening. And the doctor basically goes, you need to get to A&E like immediately. He told me to actually call a taxi because it'd be quicker than calling an ambulance.
Yeah.
So
children as a birthday do as I do on that. Like.
Yeah. And like, I told him like how bad it was, and he was like very serious. Like, you need to get to hospital,
especially with your age as well. But that was a crazy thing.
Yeah,
that's why I assumed ID. You know, like naturally.
I know, and all of that's what I was thinking at the time. I was like, I'm 20 years old. There's no way like I've got 2 blood clots.
Yeah.
But so, my dad calls a taxi. When the taxi comes, I get up. I walk to the door, and there's this wall right outside my front door. Yeah. So I just get up, I just walk out, and the second I walk out the door, this was a 10-second walk, I'm like, I need to sit down. So I sit down on the wall, and then almost instantly I pass out and I'm on the floor, and I wake up, apparently my dad said 5 minutes later, and my face was just in in between two parked cars in the road.
Oh, Jesus.
And I remember because after we got in the taxi after I regained consciousness, my dad got me on the wheelchair things from the hospital when we got there.
Yeah.
And
Which is fun.
yeah,
when you're in the state of joy anyway.
Oh yeah, as much as having a coma was quite bad, going in those wheelchair thingies, being like wheeled around by nurses, it's really fun.
Upside still, I think.
But I get to the hospital and I realise when I get there, there's quite a bit of dirt in my mouth and half my face is like covered with dirt. And my dad, like when he got to the hospital, he was like, "Oh yeah, like please, my son's just collapsed." Like
yeah, he was probably shitting himself by this time then.
Yeah, he actually handled it really, really well.
Yeah, internally, but he was like dad mode.
Yeah, but he kept like a very cool head about it. He did everything right. And I remember like, because I was like near unconsciousness at this point. I could tell that things weren't great, so I wasn't really paying it full attention. But I just remember looking around and seeing like half of the A&E waiting room just like staring at me, and that's when I was kind of like, okay, this is bad.
Yeah.
And
that's where being a comic comes in handy, at least.
Yeah.
Like, you're a bit used to that.
Yeah, like at least it's just half the room this time.
There you go.
Usually everyone's staring at me just fucking bomb, but half the room just I can handle that.
Yeah,
but,
we're used to that.
After about half an hour of waiting, which if they knew how bad it was, if they knew how bad it was, they would have like sent me in sooner. But even then, there were people that were there probably waiting 2 hours.
Yeah.
But the second the nurse saw me, she checked my vitals, and from then on, it was like, I was basically the most important person in the hospital. And I remember because they gave me the oxygen and everything, and when they realised that it wasn't just like there was something serious going on, they sent me in for MRI, and I asked the lady. One of the ladies there, and there were about like 5 people at a time around my bed at any given point.
Discussing you as if you're like a guinea pig or something.
Yeah, seriously, and they were all like.
It's a very nice. They have to do it, but it's
Oh yeah, it's a very strange position to be in, especially when like everyone's like so hectic and just like.
Yeah. From you're just like seeing this all go around you. I'm guessing.
Yeah. I knew something was badly wrong, but I had no idea the extent. Because I remember. Like I went to have MRI and I asked the lady how quickly we get the MRI back, and she said like you're the most important person here right now. Usually it takes about 4 hours. This is going to take 10 minutes.
That's cool knowing that, but then also like telling you that it's like
like how sick am I?
Yeah.
And so there was a while where I was just like sitting there waiting. I was doing things like giving me oxygen, putting like an IV in me. And have you ever had a catheter put in?
No, I've seen many get put in.
It looks as bad. It feels as bad as it looks.
I've heard a lot of this. Yeah.
Yep. It's
And when you don't get it in the first time, you have to poke it around for a bit.
Oh,
did you get in straight in?
Yep.
Oh, that's all right then. Not too bad.
All right that's an overstatement.
I saw a crazy one. My kid's mum, when she was having, I can't remember if it was the first or the second, she had an IV in for one of them. She's got other stuff going on anyway. And it was like, I can't remember which side it was, but whichever side it was, the whole time she was giving birth and it was just digging in whenever she moved. I think it must have been there, I think.
Oh, do you mean the IV?
Yeah, the catheter.
No, catheter. That's the thing that they put in your...
Oh, in your winky?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, if I'm being honest, when you said you'd seen it happen a bunch of times, I was like, you've got some weird hobbies. That did confuse me a lot.
I mean, YouTube... Before we started certain videos,
catheter conflations. That
was how I spent my teens.
Seriously, I had to have one of those, and that's one of the last memories I had before I went unconscious, which really pissed me off because they could have just waited an hour and done it when I was asleep. That's what really pissed me off.
That weirdly enough, actually, this isn't the first time on this channel we talked about this because Nathan's had a few.
Really?
He had one left in there.
A few?
Yeah, a few. During this one period, he had like a few stints in there as well. One left in him, like when he came home for a bit. And I, for ages, thought that it was like a tampon, like with a string. But then he had another one put in before he had kidney stones out. That was it. And for about a day, he did have a tampon one with a string hanging out.
That's...
It's the most I've ever wanted to see a picture of someone's dick. I still haven't seen it, but it's the most I've ever wanted to see a picture of someone's dick.
You couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me to see a picture of that anymore.
No, but you know how it feels now.
It's genuinely I felt like a victim afterwards. My head went entirely clear. That's like the first time in years I haven't thought anything.
Oh, okay.
I was just lying there like. Like, I felt like a victim. It was horrible.
You've been victimised.
And
I probably had to change it while you was in the coma.
Is
that better or worse? I'm not sure.
Better than changing it while I'm awake.
I suppose I'm going to go with better as well, yeah.
And even then, taking it out, I remember the doctor, I said, is taking it out worse or better? And he he said, putting it in hurts, taking it out's a little bit uncomfortable. So I was like, oh, thank Lord, it's not going to be as bad. And then the second he took it out, I was like, you motherfucker!
You lied to me.
It was better, but it was just still like...
But it's still taking something out your dick.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's not going to be good either way, yeah.
I didn't was thinking about it. It's
you. I knew a woman that used to be a prostitute at one point in her life, and she did a magazine thing, and she was saying about her experiences. And the one that was sticking in my head is that somebody paid her £20, a dude, to insert a knitting needle up his. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The one quote that she had about it was that there was a lot of blood and other stuff.
Other stuff.
Oh, he enjoyed it. He was paying for it.
Other stuff.
He was into it. Remember?
Oh, other stuff.
Other stuff. Most intense prostate exam, but it went in through the upper back door.
That's genuinely one of the worst things I've ever heard.
But see, it can always be worse.
I guess it could be. I guess it still.
So you was having your catheter in, and then that's when you comatized then, or?
I actually found out just today that what they used, because I was put into a coma because I was so bad.
Okay.
They actually used fentanyl to put me into the coma.
Wow.
So now I've legally done fentanyl.
You're one of the few people that actually had it, and well, you might not have known particularly about it at the time, but it was done on purpose. Yeah.
Yes, I wasn't just scrounging through the streets looking for fentanyl.
No, isn't that the one that keeps getting turning up on cocaine and stuff and killing people?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a few accounts of heroin users that say it's basically just heroin turned up to 11, which is. Okay. I mean, we think about heroin's kind of like heroin turned up to 11.
I was about to say, I thought heroin was turned up to 11 anyway.
This is 1100 apparently.
Oh, God damn it. That's goddamn good.
But
good heroin.
That's some good heroin.
That's some damn good heroin.
But I go into the coma, and the next morning, I was at Heartlands at this point, and Queen Elizabeth Hospital?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a much bigger hospital, much more well equipped.
Looks like it's got skate ramps on the top.
That's the one. It's a really nice building, though.
Yeah.
The view from the top's wonderful. The staff's great, and they found out that I had to be transferred there because they had this thing called an ECMO machine, which is basically it just operates as your lungs. So when your lungs don't work, can you see the scars on my neck?
Oh yeah.
That's where the ECMO went. I have 7 scars, and they have to put them on my thigh as well, right next to my penis.
God, there's so much going on down there when you were asleep.
I've got to tell you this. The guy who put the catheter in, I don't know if I'm imagining this or not, if I just recreate it in my head, but I swear to God, for some reason, I was just like, why are you so obsessed with my penis? He just kept looking at it, and he
God knows why.
There was seriously, for about an hour, he'd pop it in and out, and the only thing he ever looked at or examined was my penis. And I was like, is this guy the penis doctor, or is he just some nurse who just really into penises?
Maybe training to be a penis doctor.
You don't want a trainee penis doctor. You want the real penis doctor.
Yeah. But, they got to learn somehow, I guess. Everybody's always got to do their first catheter.
No, not on me. No, please, not on me.
I guess maybe only the people training for it, but. I thought you were going to say you were smiling. He might have been under the mask.
Just grinning ear to ear, putting a catheter in me.
Just staring into your eyes way too much with a big smile. Checking how you do.
This is going to be fun. What was I saying?
Fentanyl.
Yes, they put me into the coma, and then the next morning they were going to send me off to QE, because the way it was described to me afterwards is they said that if I was left there, I was basically going to die. Like, there was a 100% possibility if I was left there, I was going to die.
That says a lot about our local hospital in that case.
Oh, it was like they were doing their best. My heart actually stopped twice, and I had to manually restart it both times. Okay. So they did decently, I guess.
Well, yeah, you're here still. So yeah.
But QE did like the main heavy lifting, and so basically they were like, okay, in the morning we're going to arrange for transport as early as possible. And the ambulance people were saying, if his heart stops again in the ambulance, there's nothing we can do. He's just dead.
Yeah.
Like me staying at hospital was definite death. Me being transferred to QE was it was like a slim to none possibility. Maybe I survive. On the way there, another car crashes into the ambulance.
What?
They have to wait another half an hour for a different ambulance.
Oh, not when you're in the ambulance.
No, when I was in the ambulance, it crashed.
Jesus. Okay.
My mum, my dad, and my sister were all like following behind the ambulance, and they saw like it crash while I was in it.
Jesus fucking hell. You got a great story for on stage, so now you do.
Serious. I remember last year saying like all I want is like just interesting stories, and I'm like, this is like grade A interesting story, and it's just the whole thing is fucking crazy.
It's that old classic. I can't say it. Cliche. Be careful what you wish for.
Seriously.
Because they're cool as fuck.
I should have asked to be not interesting at the start. I remember telling my mum and my dad when I got out of hospital, I was like, last year was kind of hectic and then it was kicked off by a coma. This year I'm boring Mark. I'm going to start wearing cardigans and doing Sudoku. I don't need any more interesting stories.
Yeah.
I'm good. But thankfully, obviously I made it. So
yeah.
I managed to get to QE. They had to do like a 6-hour surgery to remove the blood clots. Oh wow! They did some imaging thing. They went through my brain, not through my brain. They went through my vein.
They started from my brain, went straight through there.
They went through my vein, and they went all the way through to the pulmonary arteries that went to the lungs. By this point, my lungs had failed. My heart. It was like enlarging. It was like massively enlarging. My kidneys had failed. My liver was failing. I was like they said that I remember being told after I woke up that no one thought I was going to live. Yeah. No, none of the staff thought I was going to live. But they went through this 6-hour surgery, meant to remove the blood clots, and I was put on like an ECMO machine. Yeah. I was put on all different kinds of machines. My dad actually told me at one point I was surrounded completely, like 360 degrees, by machines that were all like keeping me alive.
And stuff and all that.
Yeah, so it was. I was in the coma for about 3.5 weeks. I was told. At one point, about 2 weeks in, my family were actually called at midnight. They were told it's looking really bad. You should come in, so they could say goodbye to me.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Like, do you know what caused it? Is there any kind of thing they can say about that? Like,
I know I'm on blood thinners now because my hemoglobin levels are too high.
Yeah.
They said the funny thing is they said it might have been because of the drinking, because alcohol's a blood thinner, so they thought that my body might have like thickened the blood to counteract how much I was drinking, and then when I
weren't drunk,
then I stopped, and it was like, oh,
that's just a theory. They don't know that then.
They're still figuring out exactly what happened,
okay,
but just high hemoglobin levels. Now I'm on blood thinners and all that.
That's crazy.
About 3.5 weeks in, I woke up. There were about 4 days apparently where I was awake and conscious.
Yeah.
I have little to no memory of this.
Yeah.
But I was apparently making no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like I was just like.
It's like you were drugged out, basically, like still.
Pretty much.
Half asleep. Yeah.
I remember my dad told me that at one point they were like making my bed, and I just yelled back at the nurse like, "Make sure the pillows are perpendicular." Which I don't know. I have no clue what that means. No clue.
Perpendicular. That's. I'm not even too sure. I'm not too sure.
I think it's
not parallel, is it? So that's like.
No, I think it's like that.
That would make sense.
Yeah. I don't know why I want my pillows to be in the shape of a cross. But...
Well, to be fair, a lot of people do that actually. It's so they're cuddling up to another pillow.
But like, I think I was asking for it to be like the pillows on top of each other, but just like.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I have no clue.
That's fucking crazy, man. Have you had all the vaccines?
No. None of the vaccines.
Oh,
Well,
okay,
I had
interesting.
the vaccines a while ago, but not the
one
COVID
HPV,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, so... random. It's good that they're going to actually look and try and figure out what it is, though.
Yeah. They're like figuring it out,
Yeah.
especially because of like how bad it was.
Yeah.
And like my family the whole time, like obviously they were like, my dad told me because of being like my parents, my mum's church, a bunch of groups my dad's a part of, my godfather's church, my auntie's church, there were like hundreds of people praying for me to like make it through this at one point, like hundreds of people, and it's like very just like.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and it like it's easy like because I don't have much of an opinion on like religion, but then when you have things like that, it's like it's like oh yeah. Because that's like a legitimate miracle, and then like you said, there was like hundreds of people praying for you.
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
It is like, it's genuinely like, it's very difficult to like fully process what it is to like be lucky to be alive.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm actually like, it's really strange.
Yeah, you feel different then. Like
I do feel different in a lot of very weird ways.
Yeah.
It's
like I said, as soon as you walked in, I was like, you look fresh.
It's kind of like, the funny thing is I've like barely been able to like shower or anything because like just like standing up and stuff, it like takes like a lot out of me.
Well, still now then you still.
It's much better now than it was at the start.
Yeah.
Even like when I woke up, one of my first conscious memories was asking a nurse, "Oh, you've got to help me like stand up so I can walk to the toilet." And she was like, "Mark, you tried to stand up yesterday. Your blood pressure tripled and you passed out." And I was just like, "No, that's not right." Oh yeah, I was in a coma.
That's fucking crazy, man.
And the whole thing, like I couldn't like pick up like cups of water for like a while. It was.
Oh yeah, that's because like your muscle had gone down.
Yeah. And your flexibility goes completely as well.
Really?
That's way worse than losing the muscle, because your muscle, like, even if you don't have a lot of it.
Yeah, is that like the muscle flexibility you mean, or?
Yeah, it's even like I can't like if I drop something on the ground, it's like I have to plan to like get it back up. I can't just like there. I have to like be like okay.
It just sounds like you're about 35 in that case. And welcome, you'll be here again soon. Don't worry.
It's I can't do that again. If that's what being 35 is, I hope I join the 27 club. That's.
Fun way to get there, though, I guess. Well, no, it's obviously not that bad, but
I could have a second coma.
There you go. Yeah.
How many people have 2 comas in their lifetime?
Well, that's fucking random, man. I'm glad that you're all good at that then now, like, yeah.
I'm getting there.
When you said it, like, I was like, well, yeah, I didn't even know. Even though you said it and you was in a coma, it still didn't really clock on the idea of you almost dying.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What I mean? Yeah.
Because it hasn't like really like, clocked on for me yet.
Yeah, it won't do, I can imagine.
Yeah, because it's just like, oh, I'm alive.
You don't know what it's like to not be alive, so trying to understand the concept of you're still alive now, it's hard to really process that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, technically I said I was dead for a little while.
You were dead, yeah.
And I still don't know what it's like to be dead.
Well, you do, it's just, that's what it is. Sleep, I guess.
And actually,
but at the same time, though, it's hard to say that to you, because I do kind of think that if there was something else when you die, or if you go somewhere else like in a coma as well, you just wouldn't remember it. You know.
Well, I have a lot of memories from inside the coma.
Really?
And yes.
Wow. Okay.
Like dreams, like those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
Oh no, it wasn't.
Because they must have been like the longest dreams ever.
Yeah, but they were also really not fun.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know when they started and when they ended, but
that's something I don't really know with comas and that in general, because they can't know anything. Like, only what people remember.
And
well, I'm like a scientist right now. Then. Okay, yeah. Tell us what happens in a coma, Mark.
It's well, because of the fact that I was on like various drugs and I was also like half awake, half asleep. They told my family that my brain chemistry was like all over the place, pretty much. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if this is like a common thing, but one thing they did realise is that a lot of the memories I have from in the coma, a lot of the people that were there, I recognised their faces when I woke up as nurses and doctors. I was like, oh my God, you were like the person that did this.
Oh, wow.
And it seriously messed with me. And also, in most of them, I remember not being able to move. And I think I realised because I couldn't move in real life.
Yeah.
The only one where I could move, and even then technically I couldn't move, is when I was. This is gonna sound fucky, and it's not even the fuckiest one. I was in a stealth survival video game.
Okay.
And I remember being so freaked out because it was so dark and I was walking around. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. That I kept trying to die to get to the main menu so I could leave the game.
Yeah, okay.
And like all these streams felt like they lasted about 2 days each.
Yeah.
Like 2 real days.
Yeah. So fuck knows how long that actually was. Because dreams normally can last like... Well, even if you have like the dream and then you have something else, you go back to dreams as well while you're asleep, you know. So you can forget about all the little things. So over 2 days of like what? It's like an epic movie box set.
It's I'm gonna write a book about it, so I have to because
I want to know more about the one with the game. You know what was going on in that because I have in my dreams every now and then I'm in a game, and I always have the same thing. I'm pulling tiny guns out of my pocket, looking at them, and then when I'm like, yeah, this is the one I'm going to use, it just becomes full size. And then when I'm shooting, it's like I'm pressing a controller when I'm shooting a gun.
So you could feel yourself pressing the controller.
In a way, you can kind of feel yourself doing stuff.
Because I didn't have that. I was like, it was like I was like the character in the game.
Yeah.
But I was also completely like
aware that it was a game.
Yeah, it was a game.
Yeah.
But I couldn't I wasn't the person controlling it.
Yeah.
Even if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I couldn't see myself controlling it, but it was like I was aware that it was a control. So I was doing like certain actions and stuff. And every now and then in my dreams, or a lot of the time, I have a thing where I go ch-ch, and then I go the third time and I can shoot a grappling hook. And then I like swing around like Spider-Man.
Why didn't I have a grappling hook? Fuck, man. It was I think I was in like a nuclear power plant that had been like abandoned. Like I remember it feeling like I was in Chernobyl, and there was like a monster or something chasing me. I remember there were people every time I broke cover because I wanted to die to get to back to the main menu. Every time that happened, I remember like people would like yell at me over voice chat and be like, "Get back and cover." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was so confused.
Yeah, that's fucking great though.
It was. It was obviously in retrospect it's like quite funny.
Yeah, but at the time it was hilarious. I imagine, especially with a monster chasing you.
That wasn't even the worst one. Didn't even come close to it. I've told a few people this.
Fine.
There was it's so weird. This one, I had a dream that I was on a boat that was the set of Apprentice Masterchef for disabled people. And I was in the bed the entire time. They were rolling my bed around so I could make food.
Okay, you were there. You were disabled at the time.
Yeah. It's like the Paralympics, but the Gordon Ramsay version.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, inclusivity. That's what that's all about.
But they were reeling me around, and after about a day, they revealed. After chaining me up on the bed so I couldn't move at all, they revealed...
Wait, what about the dream or the actual... It sounds like Heartlands as well, to be honest.
No. Well, this was QE at this point, so they were a bit nicer with it.
I actually love Heartlands. Like, both my kids were born there.
Actually, the second hospital I went to was Good Hope. Have you been to Good Hope?
I've been to Good Hope.
Shithole.
AKA No Hope.
Yeah, it's seriously just an ironically named hospital, and I hated it there.
We almost had to give birth when we thought she was going to be the first one there, but it was what they call Branston Hicks. Which is, it's a really weird name for fake contractions. So your body's like trying to give birth, but you're not giving birth. It's like when a sheep does that, you sap it really hard.
A sheep?
Yeah. I don't know how big it is. I'm not a farmer.
Slap it. Oh, that's Good Hope. Seriously, you're lucky she wasn't born there.
Yeah.
That place is. I just. I don't know. There were some nice people there. Some nice nurses.
Oh, yeah. A lot of the staff, like anywhere, are lovely. Some of them are dickheads too. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, but even I could tell like the difference between like how seriously they took their job and how nice they were between QE and Good Hope. I was like, there's a difference here. And I'm not making this up. There was a definite quality gap between QE and.
And if you were like one of the iller ones as well, then you'd have had like the higher tier people there too.
Oh yeah.
They were getting bonuses, those people.
There were days where I like had 2 people taking care of me at once, and this was like after a few days I'd been awake. And the weird thing is, I was in the ICU for so long that like at the start it was kind of like I was the doctor actually said that when I got there, I was the sickest person in the Midlands, without a doubt.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, okay.
So at the start, it was like I was like priority number one.
Yeah.
Then after about a week of me being awake,
as well, you'd imagine that would go like.
See, and the fact that I'm 20 is 21 now. I was actually in a coma over my birthday.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So
when was that?
4th of January. It's 5 days into it.
Happy birthday.
Apparently.
Actually, no, birthday. There you go.
Birthday. it was a day.
It was a day, and you got through it. That's all that mattered.
And now I'm here.
There
And
you go.
I was actually really happy because my sister's birthday was like a couple of days before I got out, and they were, like, my whole family were visiting me the whole time because
of course.
they would.
Yeah.
And I was just really happy to get out for my sister's birthday, honestly.
No, yeah, that's cool, man. Like it's one of those things because you got through it now as well. You probably don't even realise it, but you must have like different outlooks on things too. You just appreciate things more, you know.
It's weird. It's actually like a little bit of both sides.
Yeah.
Where like, I appreciate life more, and I'm like, oh, I could like, I've got to make sure that if I die tomorrow, I can like put a stamp on my life and say I'm proud of what I've done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also take things less seriously because I'm like, I go home and I'm like, I was in a coma like a month ago. Do you want me to just like make cereal and be like, oh, what? Like, I can't just go on and act like everything's normal in like a weird way.
Oh, you mean like in the way that you kind of presented with your morality as well at the same time? So like you're aware, you know, like of the thing. A lot of people over the pandemic were like kind of suddenly like aware of their own mortality, like the idea of like, you know, like, oh yeah, you can just die at any point, kind of thing.
I wouldn't say it's so much that. I'd say it's more that what happened was such like a big thing.
Yeah.
That like I've gone from that, which is like a massive thing.
Now you think you're invulnerable.
Well, that's definitely the thing where like, I weirdly think that.
Yeah.
But it's more just like my main priority now is like getting strength back in my legs and like my arms.
Yeah.
And it all just seems like so unimportant. Where it's like, oh, I was like literally fighting for my life. There were hundreds of people praying for me. I like nearly died multiple times.
I see you're very chill about everything, you mean?
Yeah, like it's just like it's hard to like be like, oh, like my.
I think that's the main thing, though. Personally, like that's what I see real happiness as. Is like, don't want to say acceptance, but it's just
I don't mean
chill about things, like, you know, because most things you can't change. The things you can, you do what you can for them, and all the noise is just noise. You know.
I know what you mean.
Is that what you mean? Or
it's sort of like that, and that's definitely a part of it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
okay.
more about like just the I don't know.
Physical.
It's very hard to describe in that things just don't seem as important anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like
that's like in a sense that like shallow things don't seem as important in that as well. Or
actually, yeah, I think that might be it.
Yeah.
I think the reason that I
Yep.
might be feeling like this is just because I haven't had any, like I said, the past few days, like my focus has been just like getting strength back in my legs. I haven't like been able to like go to Scotland and like see some whales or like, you know, like meet someone or like, you know, do any of that shit.
No, yeah. I don't think that's what I meant at all. I don't know what you meant there.
No, it's more. It's like I haven't done anything important since I've been out of the coma.
Oh yeah.
It's just been recovering, and when I get to that point where I can like, I don't know, maybe like do some cool shit that means something, really means something, then nice.
But I just mean in the sense of like you kind of get a bit more of a sense of the things that are important, and then some of the other things that aren't. You're like,
yeah. It is like very difficult to really like care about something like small when you nearly died.
Yeah, and like you said, like it's figuring out like kind of processing all that. Like, do you know one important thing though? Do you know the stuff you missed? Do you know any of that?
What do you mean?
Like, have you caught up with stuff?
Oh, like media shit like that.
Oh yeah, you know anything?
Like,
did you know that Putin grew a tail? Putin from Russia, he grew a tail.
I did not.
And scales. Not the kind where you weigh things, but scales.
Yeah.
Tail. All over his body.
I don't think that happened. I think I would have heard if Vladimir Putin publicly turned into a lizard.
You might have been, okay. It was actually Justin Bieber.
I did hear about that, actually. I did hear about that.
Yeah,
Turned into a gecko. I remember, do you know about Jeremy Renner? He had like a snowplow fall on his leg.
Oh yeah.
I found out about that like after I woke up, a while after.
Yeah, so when was it you actually woke up then?
I think, like I said, there were a couple of days where I was like not.
Yeah, all roughly.
There.
You know, like...
I think it would have been the 24th, about then. Because there's a picture on my Instagram that I took. It's one of my first conscious memories. That was on the 28th. So I'm guessing 4 days, 24th.
Yeah.
That's a rough estimate.
Actually, I need to get back my video a second.
Alright, go for it.
I'm going to make a note. 35 minutes. Are you looking to like go back to gigging and stuff then once you like got your
not right now.
Yeah, not right now. Like,
and even I want to take like a decent break from it, just because it's a. I don't really like doing it like that. If you know what I mean.
what do you mean?
Like if I have like a good set, I like looking back over it and being like, oh yeah, like I did a good job. I got a couple of good laughs. I made a few good jokes. But actually being on stage, I really don't like that. I don't want to do that.
Oh really?
Nah.
Yeah. I get it. To be fair, it's not always fun. Like anyone that says it's always fun, it's not, because it's fucking excruciating sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when it doesn't go well, it's like, ugh. And then going back to doing it after it doesn't go well is always the hardest.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. It's just.
Do you want a beer, by the way? Or are you not drinking then?
I can't drink. I told my dad I wouldn't drink for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a bottle of whiskey earlier this week. Just as a getting out present. I didn't polish off the whole thing one day for what it's worth. But
Nah.
I just remember being in hospital like, I'd do anything for just like some whiskey right now.
To be fair, man, like it'd be really. I've never heard of that. Like for somebody that drinks a lot, especially a young person. Like, when did you start drinking?
Well, the funny thing is,
unless it was very young and you don't want to say which.
I started drinking when I was 13.
I think that's about normal.
But then my whole life just kind of went downhill the more I drank, and about a year after I started, I stopped. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Okay.
Sort of got my life back on track.
Yeah.
Then, about this time last year, roughly, maybe March, April last year, I started drinking again, and then like the exact same thing happened where like, I started drinking and my life just went no. So it's you can like directly graph how good my life is with how much I drink. It's like almost like comical in that sense.
Well, yeah, I mean it depends like what your thing is. Like everyone's kind of got that with something, I think though.
Yeah, everyone has a vice.
Yeah. When it's alcohol, it's a bit more. But then like for myself, like with probably bud more than anything, like. You can't hide that. Like, if you, like when it's drinking or something, you know, you can go somewhere, slip a drink or something. You just got to get it off your breath after. I can't, like, just go into the other room and light a spliff, you know.
Yeah.
Someone will notice.
Someone will. It's
Just me.
Even though I remember I used to go to college high, and
yeah,
I want to say I got away with it. Sometimes I kind of get away with it.
Have I ever told you the story of the first ever time I got high?
No.
The funny thing is, I thought it had already happened. Like, first ever time I got high, it's like a virgin thing.
Oh, I think I know what you mean.
I was in the park with a few of my mates and someone else had rolled for me. And I'd basically been, it was Dom actually, I say this every time, not Dom. Who's that? The evil hippie man, the goth man. The tall guy that with the long hair that's around sometimes. Not Nathan.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Him anyway. He's a fucking idiot, man. Honestly, he told me to smoke, like, by going... I needed to reenact. Like, rather than going... I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Okay, yeah, so when you smoke normally, like, you breathe in, and then you just kind of keep breathing in, and it's like a straw. He said to go to breathe in with that, and then breathe in with my nose after. And I didn't know any different. I thought I was getting high the whole time, because we were drinking too, so... you don't know what it's like at that point. So naturally I thought I'd been high so many times. So when my other mate on the way to school was like 7 in, oh Carl, do you want to get high before school? I'm like, yeah, of course. That's minor, yeah, of course. So I smoked a load. Felt fine. Felt absolutely fine. Went to class. It was a boys' school I went to. So a lot of craziness going on in the lesson. The first lesson, absolutely fine. And then as I got up to go to the next lesson, I remember this completely, absolutely fine. And then I was looking at the desk, stood up, and it was like the desk stayed at the same level as I stood up. Like it went with me. And then looking around, all of a sudden, oh, what the hell?
Oh, I'd rather die.
Oh, and then realising what was going on, but not realising as well.
Yeah.
You know, what the hell?
Becoming high for the first time in school.
People all around you. And
oh, that's horrible.
Because the guy who you're doing it with is laughing his head off, telling people. At the time, it was horrendous.
Oh.
Like going into like the hallway, and then just somebody walking up like, "Carl, you're right." It's like, yeah, why? It's like, you're swaying. Quite a lot. I felt like it was completely straight. And then I remember the next lesson I had the really strict science teacher who was also like the deputy head, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get killed. So I went in, he saw him straight away that looked weird. He's like, you alright, Carl? I was like, I'm feeling a bit ill, you know. And then everyone just behind us laughing.
I was mad bloodshot.
Yeah,
I feel really ill.
Yeah. It was like, oh, okay, tell you what then, he just took me down to the nurse pit, and he was like, just sit on the chair there, just relax for a bit and I'll come back to you later. So he went and did the lesson. It was like a double one, so I was just there like in that area for like an hour and a bit. Then he came back after and he was like, feeling better now? I was like, yeah, I'm alright. He's like, well, it's lunchtime. I bet you got the munchies, haven't you? I was like,
That's...
And then he just sent me on my way.
That's the fucking coolest, honestly.
Yeah. But it was hellacious at the time.
No, I can only imagine.
When it was,
Even when I like consciously went into college high, I was every single time I was like, why'd I do this? I could have just gone home. Mm-hmm. And most of the time I did go home. But even then, I just like sometimes smoke in the smoking huts, and I just go in for some reason. It's the dumbest thing to do.
Wait, what would? Sorry.
Sometimes I just go into the smoking huts, smoke some weed, and then go right back into college.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, why did I do that? Like, there's no reason.
That's the thing though, isn't it? It's fun though, but sometimes when you do it, it's like, oh no, this was a mistake. Yeah.
The thing is, smoking weed makes things more fun. That's it just does that. But the thing is, you can't make a science lesson fun. That's not how it works. You get through it.
Yeah.
It's like it's like trying to make prison fun. You get through it.
Yeah. And also like, you don't know you've had too much until you've had too much.
Yeah.
And there's not much you can do about it then. Like you're past that point already.
Well, the first and only time I ever went into school drunk, I was 13, and I ended up throwing up in my English lesson. And you could, because I'd been drinking dark fruit cider, the Strongbow one.
Oh, well, that shows how young you are compared to me.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It was 13 in the park, just drinking Strongbow. It's a real British vibe.
You know what? That's not too bad though. When I started drinking, man, it was around the same kind of time, probably more like 14, 15. Frosty Jacks straight away.
You went straight on to Frosty Jacks?
Yeah, that was what we started. We started on the shit. You don't move to the shit after you had the good stuff.
Oh no! Even in Frosty Jacks, like I've had like the Crofters, like shit like that from Tesco, like the.
Oh yeah, it's all the same shit though, isn't it?
But Frosty Jacks is worse than the.
Oh, is that worse? Is it?
Frosty Jacks is like the only time I drink Frosty Jacks is on a Sunday when all of the supermarkets are closed.
Yeah.
And I have to go to the corner shop, and even then I'm like fighting for my life to find something else to drink.
Are the supermarkets a lot cheaper then for like cider and beer?
Generally.
Oh, okay. I've always been unsure because I'm really dumb. I never compare. Honestly, I just never really make a mental note of it.
What I always drink is the Aldi drink from the Tour. Well, even then, now I drink whiskey because I can't do the. I can't. You know, like if you want to get drunk off a cider, you've got to like have a lot of liquid.
Yeah. It depends what mood I'm in. If I'm in the mood where I want to drink stuff. Which lately I've been a lot more into lager and that. I've enjoyed like the 2 beer kind of thing. Which before I was always like totally like as soon as I'd have one I'd be just start drinking all night kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I know as soon as I stop as well I'm just going to feel crap then.
I know what you mean.
But now I'm at the age where when I start drinking it doesn't matter. After a bit I'm going to feel crap anyway. And if I keep drinking I'll just feel worse and it's like, okay. It's like you get hungover while drinking as you get older. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not nice. That's why we don't drink as much as we get older.
Cap, I'm drinking this. I've got to tell you, the time that I thought I was on American Apprentice Masterchef.
Yeah,
on the
I'd
boat.
love to hear more of this.
They chained me up and they told me that they were taking me to a prison in Malaysia where I was going to spend the rest of my life because they thought that I was a child molester.
Wow.
Yeah. And for what felt like about 2 days, I was chained up, just like waiting to be sent to a Malaysian prison.
Which was amazing as well, because you in the dream couldn't move either.
Yeah.
Even before you were chained up.
Seriously, it
You
was.
must have been a terrible child molester.
The paraplegic child
Now we've got
molester.
the beginning little bit.
No.
Make a note of that.
You must. The funny thing is, I actually remember when one of my aunties came over. She told me that she saw, because I'm friends with her on Facebook. She told me that she saw the first podcast. So now all I can think is just her like going, "Oh, another podcast from Mark," and then she just sees, "You must have been the worst child molester."
Well, make her want to keep watching.
Ah.
Well, not just on that bit. We'll include some of the context. You know, that you were chained up. It was Celebrity Masterchef or Apprentice Masterchef.
I'm pretty sure she knows the story anyway. So
So I
it was Apprentice Masterchef. I'm
just
pretty sure.
every other person in the world that'll think you're a pedo for a few seconds. It's fine.
It's
We'll rewind more than that.
That's
Maybe.
even then it was like I said, it wasn't a fun one, you know, because it felt like about 2 days long for it to work.
That's like I'm just trying to imagine like the steps in that dream.
Yeah.
Like from Celebrity Masterchef Apprentice disabled version. That was it, wasn't it?
Just hearing it said back to me is like such a.
Hearing myself say it.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
It sounds like a Key and Peele sketch.
Yeah.
Apprentice.
I forgot what I was going to... Yeah, how you got from that to getting chained up and then in a Malaysian prison.
I never got to the Malaysian prison.
Oh.
I think
That's a good thing?
I don't know how it resolved actually. This, like basically all of these dreams, I don't have like a solid resolution. I think.
Most dreams you don't do any, like when you have a dream on a night and that.
That's a strange thing. You'd think that if you were asleep for as long as I was, you'd get to the end of the dream. But I just had incomplete dream after incomplete dream after incomplete dream.
You know what that is? Because nowadays they would like to tell you that every story has a beginning, middle and end because it's nice and tidy that way. But in real life, and yes, in dream life, there is no real ending to any story. Every story goes on.
That's actually fucky.
God, that, you know what, just saying all that made me feel high.
I'm pretty sure that's also the weed you've been smoking.
Well, yeah, that started it. Higher. Okay, that's a better way to put it.
Still though, that is...
It's kind of true though.
Yeah, I'm genuinely just thinking about that now, because like... Oh, that's weird.
See, I say smart things sometimes. It's true that when you're having a dream though, you know, I suppose in your head it's just going to keep going and going. Normally it just end when you wake up, and which, you never know, that might have been the one you woke up in.
I think the last dream I had... No, the last dream, I'm pretty sure. Because I remember sort of them, like, getting almost, like, more and more real.
Yeah,
I remember, like, there was a dream that I had where I'm pretty sure I was in a hospital. So it was, like, gradually becoming more and more real.
Yeah.
I think the last dream that I really remember having is I was at this, like, house in, like, Singapore. But the world, like, there was a meteor coming down.
Oh, I've had dreams like that, yeah.
And I remember, because actually, something I just realised, a very big part of the themes of these, like, dreams was the people that were, like, there for me while I was, like, just, like, lying down, I couldn't move. A lot of the time, I'd say, like, I need to do something, I need to do this, I need to do that, or I'd ask them, what do you want me to do? And they said, you don't do anything, just lie down, just... Don't do anything.
Yeah, processing, letting people take care of you and stuff almost.
Yeah, and I wanted to move, but basically everyone I talked to was just like, no, just like lie down, it's fine. And it's really weird how like real the dreams were.
Yeah.
And like how like connected they were to what was actually happening, like really.
And to be fair as well, some of them might have been like in that time when you was like half and half as well. Like, you know what I mean?
I think at least one of them was.
Yeah.
Because I did have a dream that felt very real, and I think I might have been in a hospital bed for some of it, like a real hospital
like a proper,
bed.
Like,
Yeah. And, but that was also like, I remember the reason I was there is because I had you know what a tracheotomy is?
No, what's that?
It's where they put a hole in your neck and then they put that tube in.
Yeah, when you see it in films when they do with like a pen, don't they? Like,
Yes.
they take like just the tube, you know, and it makes like an airway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one of those done. And the reason I was there is because I couldn't, like, when I tried to talk, it made like a really weird noise. And the doctor was also making a film where one of the roles needed someone who made that noise.
This is a dream. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
It's like it's the people at QE, like, hold on, I'm trying to get into Sundance here.
The first bit was like you were in there because you're making a weird noise. Like, what?
It was.
Is that when you woke up, or?
No, this was this was all a dream.
This is Singapore.
No, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Singapore came after.
Oh yeah, this is the one at the end when you're in the hospital bed.
No.
It's hard to pick them out sometimes, I imagine.
I have a fairly good recollection of the things that happened.
Yeah.
But it's all just the main reason I remember this is because I remember the one doctor who was the one that I thought was like making the film. I actually, in the dream, he was a university student. He definitely wasn't a university student when he woke up. And for some reason...
Hopefully he was at one point.
Oh, he must have been.
Yeah,
I'm really hoping he was. I'm really hoping he was. I mean, he's actually the one that did like the 6-hour surgery, or he was a part of that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if he just winged that, then fair play to him.
He did a good job at least. So.
I went back to his dorm and stayed there for the night. But it was also like there were like a group of like 6 people, and it was weird. Like they were like divided almost, and like the other side like dragged me over, and that's when like the sort of like the Singapore thing almost like started to happen. And I'm gonna go back to QE and ask them to make sure. I'm pretty sure that at some point, I don't know if this happened in a dream or it's happened in real life.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure at some point I tried to get a nurse in a chokehold. I don't know. I genuinely don't know if this was a dream or if this was something happening in real life, but they were like, he's so out of his head, we'll just let it go. I have no idea.
Well, maybe you just remember they were like trying to show you how to, have you somewhere, and you were just like, you, come here.
It was demonstrating how to put someone in a chokehold for me.
Yeah.
The first step of recovery.
Oh yeah, they were showing you. Yeah, the first step of recovery, of course. Show you how to do a chokehold, and then check your vitals. If it's okay, go home.
Chokehold, vitals, learn how to walk.
Mm-hmm.
Dick punch, leg locks.
Which, in all honesty, why do we have any of these self-defense like classes or?
I think like that all the time.
Yeah, just dick punch.
Dick kick, well.
Yeah, any any attack to the dick.
Dick elbow.
Maybe we need dick foo.
Dick foo. That sounds like the hottest Korean dish out there right now.
Wait, does that mean food or like a porno star? Because it could be either. And even your explanation could be either. You say the hottest Chinese dish.
I said Korean, so now you're
Korean.
Racist.
Well, I mean, they're pretty close to each other.
Hottest Korean dish. That did actually break my brain for a second. That could be a porn star or food.
Yeah. What the description?
Slimy. Still could be either.
Well, yeah, it could.
Tastes like fish.
Yeah.
Could be either.
I don't know what we're doing here, but
That's
I'm going to go too.
we're from coma to this amount, so it's about 5 minutes.
Oh, like a lot of fish, battered.
That was very, very good. Battered.
I was quite happy with that,
Oh,
actually.
that was really, really good. You could very easily work that into a joke, actually.
I'm going to have to debate those two bits now.
I like my women like I like my fish. Battered.
That feels like it must already be a joke. Oh, I would imagine so. That sounds like a... Yeah, sounds like a Freddie Boyle joke, actually. No, Frankie Boyle. Yeah,
I like my women like I like my fish. Battered.
Oh, caught and battered.
That's not too bad.
Caught, battered and frozen.
Caught, battered and
Frozen in the fridge behind the skip.
I'm trying to... That actually, you sold Frankie Boyle really well there.
What?
You sold Frankie Boyle really well there.
I had no idea what accent I was doing, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, Scottish accent. I just sort of sound like I just try and sound like I have a cold.
Oh, I meant to tell you, I don't know why I wanted to tell you this, but I thought if anyone will appreciate this, you will. And you're one of the first I've got to tell when I want to tell people this.
Let's see.
I went to McDonald's the other day after a gig. And the dips were free. So I kept pressing the button and I now have a bag full of sweet curry dips.
How big's the bag?
Oh, there was about 16 in there. There's about 12 now.
Oh, fair play.
11.
Are they the plastic dips or like the...
They're the fucking dips.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that actually.
That is amazing. I was very happy. You don't understand how happy about it. I'll just keep making chips. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm at McDonald's, baby.
I would have gotten way more, honestly.
Oh yeah. To be fair, I should have pressed more. I didn't think there was any way they would give me all of them, but they did.
I would have gone for at least 50. I would have shot for the moon.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to specifically try and get a gig there again so I can go back to that specific service station. Well, if it's a thing in all service stations, so someone please tell me. But
we could get a scam going here.
Fuck a scam, just walk up and like, they're free. You got to give them me. I just walk up and I just be like, count up how many are there first in the box, how many they've got in the whole shop. And then I'll just have that many.
How much do you think we could resell them for though?
Oh, that's true actually, you know. Yeah, there's people that walk into McDonald's and be like, yo, 10p, yo. Fine place to do it.
The crackiest thing in the world, hanging outside McDonald's. Hey man, you got some dip?
To be fair though, man, if a dude came up to me, like any crackheady hobo man, and asked for change and gave me dip, I'd be all over that. I saw one the other day that was standing up by the old Bill and Boy, you know, the people that stand in the middle.
Yeah.
And he was juggling. That's what you need to do with a hobo.
Just juggling?
Yeah, do something, you know, to get your money. Rather than just walk over with your cup and be like, change.
That's got to be like demoralising though. Like you're basically, you know, there's people.
I'm sorry. What job do you think anyone can have that isn't a bit demoralising?
That's fair.
We were talking about prostitutes not too long ago. No, porn stars. Sorry, because they're
same thing.
Yeah, yeah, they are. The difference between prostitution and porn stars is recording it.
Pretty much. And the pay's obviously different.
No, but it depends if it's an amateur one.
Actually, how much do you think the world's highest paid prostitute gets paid more than the world's highest paid porn star?
That's a good question, though, because highest paid prostitute, you're looking at somebody that goes to like, I'm trying to think of some really rich people.
Yeah, like Saudi princes, like.
Well, I'm trying to think of some people that wouldn't be going for questionable people, though. So, you know, I'm trying to think of, like, say, a respectable person that might be getting a prostitute rather than, say, somebody that might show up in a phone book that belongs to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. That's... Actually...
You missed that? He came back from the dead? Came back from the dead? Well, obviously, we thought he was dead. He was never dead.
That's...
He was a robot.
I have no idea. Literally no idea.
It's weird that seemed more believable than the first one. I can't remember.
What do you mean the first one?
The first one? Whatever the first one was that I said to you. I tried to make you believe was real. It definitely was real.
Oh, the tail of the lizard.
yeah. Putin's a lizard. That was it. Yeah. See, it wasn't made up. It was true.
I could honestly, if you sold it really well, I think you could have convinced me that Jeffrey Epstein was a robot.
Yeah, okay. I'll remember that for next time. I'll think of something. There was something like actually though, genuinely though, did you see the UFOs that were shut down?
After I got out of hospital, I did see some stuff about there being like UFOs in like Alaska, was it?
There was one above Alaska, one in Canada, and one above Lake Huron in America.
I heard about that one as well.
But naturally, they call the search has been called off. They're like, we are the American government. We cannot get to a piece of ice in Antarctica. We cannot do it. No, sorry, in Alaska, we cannot do it. We may own it, it may be ours, and we may have places right by it. We may have helicopters and submarines and ships that can go through ice, but we cannot get to the wreckage. We cannot do it.
It is obviously like incredibly sus, but even then, conspiracy theories and like that kind of thing, UFOs in general. It's one of those things where if there are aliens or anything like that, then it doesn't really matter because they're either going to kill and enslave us or they don't like.
They're chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we can't really do anything about what they're going to do to us.
There's a word for that, you know. What is it now? It's what Elon Musk is very much like. It's not pragmatic. You know, it's not pragmatic. That's a different one. Agnostic? No, it's not agnostic.
I think pragmatic might be the.
Is that it?
I think it is. Pragmatic's where it's just like.
It's like what will be will be. Basically.
Yeah. Oh, stoic. I think you mean.
That stoic's when you just stuff happens and you're just like, I am man.
Yeah, yeah.
I shall not react to things.
I
am king of livers. I do take steroids.
Oh, did that happen last year or this year? I remember. I remember seeing about that.
Yeah, that might have been last year. I think actually.
Yeah, that must have been pre-coma.
Does anything else good happen? No, fuck no, man. Did you see the other day about the South Park stuff? Like,
South Park?
Yeah, fuck, I'm forgetting the main people though. The Sussexes, Harry and Meghan, them people.
Oh!
They were on South Park and they almost became the first ever people to sue South Park. They didn't.
Wait, why?
Well, because the episode they brought out about them, they were the Canadian royal family rather than the British royal family. They never once said their names, but it was them. And they were on the World Privacy Tour, going all around the world, shouting and making a lot of points about how they want privacy. Setting off fireworks, drum sets, you know, banging all the time. We went on a chat show, and it was like, so the chat show host was like, so you brought out a new book called Where you report about everything that happened in the royal family. Like, yes, I did. Like, and you say in here that you hate reporters. Yes, I do hate reporters. So you wrote a book reporting on your family. Yeah. So you are a reporter. Yeah.
That seems like fairly tame to sue over.
Yeah. Oh no, the whole episode was more than that. Like,
Oh.
But it, yeah. Yeah, but they see that like they're just moany people at the moment. Like what? Megan probably more than anything. I don't really care too much.
Women, right?
Women.
Ah!
Yeah. Ugh.
Can't live with them.
Can't kick them in the nose.
That's yeah, I'm sure I could if I tried.
But it will be looked upon with frowny eyes.
Well, that's because she'll be like unconscious.
Oh, but her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll see you later though in the trial.
Oh man. Sorry, just saying that made me think about the catheter again.
I don't know what that made you think of the catheter.
No, just because every single it genuinely feels like being like you feel like a victim afterwards. Yeah, it's I can't think about it.
I mean, it makes sense to be. I understand this.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You don't want anything up there,
especially knowing that it could have happened again while you was asleep.
That really isn't what bothers me. It's just the fact, just feeling it.
You couldn't stop it.
No,
you had to let it happen more.
I was I remember like fighting it, being like, no, this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. And I just...
You had no energy to fight it.
Seriously.
Yeah, obviously.
And it was so sad. It genuinely, it feels like...
That's probably what it was more, actually, wasn't it? Like, the fact that you had no energy, you couldn't fight it, you just had to let it happen.
Yeah, it was, seriously, it was like...
That's one of the ways you want to go with that joke on stage as well, part of it. Like, that's a great bit, talking about it and then just bitching about how victimised you felt.
I reckon I could pull that off, actually.
Oh, that'd be great, yeah. That'd be awesome.
I'd piss a few people off, obviously. But...
Well, what happened to you? No one can say a damn thing to you. It happened to you. No one can say anything to you.
Still victimised, though. That's
what
like...
the hell you felt? Sorry. PC World says everybody's feelings are valid and as important as everyone else's. That means yours are too.
Yeah, fair enough.
And mine, where, I step on a pin and it goes in my foot and then I think, God, those women don't understand what real pain is. That's valid too.
Fair enough. Honestly, I think... Do you think being kicked in the balls really hard or giving birth is worse?
In all honesty, definitely giving birth. Oh man, I've seen it. I've seen it twice. Up close and personal.
Wait, you saw it?
Yeah! I caused it. I had to be there to see it. It's like causing a crash and then running away from the scene. That's wrong to do.
So I could... if I...
Stick around.
Still, if I had a baby, I'd be in the room, but I wouldn't, like...
Oh, I had to have a look. I had to see it all. I was still able to get an erection when she was naked afterwards, so I didn't enjoy anything.
Fair play to you.
That's love, that is.
That is real love. Fuck. Because I couldn't... no, I just thinking about it, I'm like, I don't want to see what someone's...
In all honesty, you get a whole new respect for women. Like, it's crazy. Like, apparently it's the equivalent for us for shoving a golf ball out of a dick.
Ah!
That's the equivalent.
Ah! Oh!
Captain doesn't feel as bad, suddenly does it?
No! Ah!
Yeah, generally, apparently that's the equivalent.
Ah!
And my kid had my size head.
Ah!
Yeah, exactly.
That's what? No, lie to me. Say it's easier. Say
Oh yeah, it just fell out really.
Oh.
It's like having a poo. She was like, oh, what's that? Oh, baby.
Oh, still.
Yeah, it's like having it's like pissing air.
Pissing air.
Yeah. Like when you get older.
Is that the thing?
And I think for like 80 and 90-year-olds, that's what happens when they masturbate. I assume.
Just like a smoke screen.
Wow. More like a little puff of smoke coming out. Like a little...
Like you fired like one of those 2-inch guns.
Yeah.
Oh. Still, golf ball. That's horrible.
Yeah, man. I mean, naturally, to people like myself with giant slongs, that's not too bad. I'm like, yeah, alright.
Oh, man.
4. And they got me a birdie.
So that's a cricket thing as well, isn't it? 4.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, but that's a bad shot though. That's 4 points when it bounces along the floor and then it goes out of boundaries. But if you get 6, it goes.
A cricket ball would be worse because it has that rope thing on it and that scratch the inside.
And it's a hell of a lot bigger.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's like a tennis ball size bigger. I think it's like a tennis ball in it.
What's like if a woman birthed like a full-size human, do you think that'd be like a bowling ball coming out of like your penis?
No, they'd probably be like a full-size person coming out your penis.
Oh.
Either way, you're gonna be dead, I think. I did see there's an old show that I used to watch. Like it's like I think it was 2000s, but it looked like it was from the 80s. It was like an old-looking cheesy thing called Fringe, and it was all like different sci-fi things happening. And one of them, like in one of the early episodes, a woman there's a prostitute that goes back to her house with some guy, and the guy's getting ready to murder her. It looks like that anyway. But then all of a sudden, she starts doing weird stuff, and she becomes pregnant suddenly. But it's like she's all like with all the stuff, and then he comes out in the hospital because the murderer guy's just like fuck this and just dumps her outside the hospital, and then a baby comes out, but then he's growing as he comes out. By the time the police get there, there's like an old man dying on the floor in like the womb still. Well, in the sack still, I mean. So it's like that, I think.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, they did it very well, for a cheap show. It looked fucking disgusting. Imagine an old man with a lot of like yellow jelly around him, and he was in a giant condom. Someone had managed to like suck all the air out somehow as well.
You said it was made in the 80s?
No, it just looks like it was made in the 80s.
When was it made?
I don't know, 2000 or something like that.
Well, even I think have you seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
I know what you mean. I've never actually watched it. I don't think. No.
Have you seen The Thing, the James Russell version?
Oh, which one is that? Because I've seen The Thing, the original.
It's got Kurt Russell in it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favourite films. I think it was made in '82, and the effects are fucking incredible. So
the practical effects.
They've been good for a minute.
All the 80s horror films and some of the early 90s ones, like the practical effects just look better in a lot of ways. Like even now, you can still kind of tell when something's computer generated. Like, you can tell, can't you?
Yeah.
I think the best thing I saw recently that looked quite good was Man-Thing in that Werewolf by Night on Marvel. I saw the other day, but it was just because it was black and white. It looked really good. You couldn't tell then. It looked awesome.
Yeah.
It might be practical. I don't know actually, because it was like a kind of not parody, but based on like 80s kind of horrors and that. But the Thing is great. Like that was one I discovered late. Like,
it's one of my favourite films ever. The effects in it is great. And
how do you feel about like that question at the end, as you know, who was the Thing?
Who were the two left? There was Kurt Russell and the black guy, wasn't it? I thought that neither of them were the Thing. Wasn't
it? I think it was the black guy. The theory is that like, because when he was breathing, Kurt Russell was breathing, he was like all the air.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah. And the bottles that had like petrol in earlier, he gave him the bottle to drink, and he drank it, and it's like the question of, was it one with the petrol in, so he was testing him, or was it actually alcohol? You know.
I don't think I remember that.
I watched the film a few times, but I've seen those lists on YouTube and it always pops up. I've seen that so many times.
It's such a good film.
Yeah, man.
And it's one of those films.
Little head spider on the floor.
Oh, that one was fucking freaky.
Did you think I was pointing at one then?
Oh no. It's just there are seriously so many like good like effects in that film and just like good moments. And you know that I think it's like the one where it's like not where they first see it, but they're testing that guy who's on the table, and then the thing just like bursts out of him.
Yeah.
It's like fucking gigantic. And I think they try to get like a flamethrower or something.
Oh, you know what? Every time I think of that, though, I'm just going straight back to the chest burster from Aliens. I can't help but go to that. In that scene as well, like, do you know that when it comes out the chest in Aliens?
Yeah.
He didn't tell any of the cast that thing was going to pop out. So their reactions are all legit. Like, they weren't expecting anything to pop out of his chest.
Well, I'll have to watch that again, actually, to see how they react.
What was it? One of the other ones. I saw on The Shining that, do you know about, like, The Shining, the woman that was, like, just heckled by...
I haven't seen The Shining, but I know I should.
In all honesty, man, I can hardly remember the film. Like, I've really got... I know the film slightly, but I've definitely seen that place a lot more when ghost hunters go there to look around.
Is that a real place?
The Stanley Hotel is a real place.
Where is it?
America. I can't remember. Somewhere in America.
Somewhere.
It's one of the posher places, like Columbia or Washington. Thereabouts.
Neither of those are particularly posh, I think, but sure.
I don't know. Washington has the big thing that sticks into the sky. And the place where the guy sits on the chair.
Well, I think there's Washington DC and there's Washington State.
That's a good point again. Washington DC, but it's definitely not in DC though, so scratch that.
I don't imagine it being Seattle.
Let me have a look. It might have been Columbus. Is that the one? Which?
Columbus is in Ohio.
Maybe it's Ohio then, because that seems familiar. Stanley Hotel. Do you believe in ghosts and whatnot?
No, is what I'm going to land on.
Bad.
I almost became a ghost, so.
Yeah.
They better exist.
Well, what would be better though, that or like an afterlife thing? I mean, in many ways, being a ghost might be more fun.
I don't know. When I die, I just want it to be over, honestly.
Well, I suppose, yeah, because if you go to heaven, then you're going to have to deal with God's rules. And, like...
God.
Yeah, imagine the rules. It'd be like having, like, a really arsey, like... It'd be like being a teenager again and having, like, a really, like, overprotective parent, that would be. Just wouldn't let you do anything. I mean, look what happened the last time he let his son go out.
I have a bit that I do on the Bible, and I've been a great line for it.
On the what?
I have a bit that I do on the Bible.
Oh, okay, got you, yeah.
Where it's like I basically it's like really nepotistic, because Jesus is the only person who ever got an extra day. Nepotistic, is that right?
I'm trying to think now if that was the word that I was trying to think of earlier.
No, it couldn't have been.
Nepotism.
I think pragmatic was definitely you're like close.
Pragmatic is when you're like kind of like
My understanding is pragmatism is relating to things that are like, just like practicality almost, just like real world things. Like you sort of disregard like emotions or feelings, and you just do what's like. Yeah, pretty much. Elon Musk, right?
Well, yeah, in many ways, to be fair.
Yeah, he's just autistic. Gang shit.
Gang. Pragmatic, dealing with things sensibly and realistically in a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations. That's not it though so much.
Huh.
That's not what I was thinking of. Let me check nepotism then. So I'm thinking more of like the kind of, what will be kind of thing, like, yes, I know this will happen. It might scare me, like when I'm thinking of Elon Musk talking about
I'm getting kind of tired by that because all the walking around and shit like that. So
okay.
I might be taking off in a bit.
No, that's fine, man. I wasn't planning to do it long anyway, so that's fine. We've already gone over what's like a minimum podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were like 1:15. Nepotism, the practice among those with power of favouring. Okay, that's definitely not what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's definitely not it.
That's like giving your nephew a job and shit like that.
That's exactly what it is. Fuck, okay. I have no idea what this word is, but I know it exists, and I can't think what it is. But that's what I'll have for you next time. I'll have that fucking word.
I wouldn't hold out hope for it, but
I mean, yeah, you probably shouldn't do, in all honesty.
I think I got the gist of it close enough.
That's gonna generally piss me off. I'll generally be thinking about that. I'll just fucking message you on WhatsApp at some point.
This is like a word.
I guarantee you, yeah.
Well, was pragmatic close?
Pragmatic was about being practical and stuff. So looking at something and being like logical, I think.
But was it close to like what you were meaning?
Dealing with things sensibly and realistically. So it is. It's being like a realist.
Maybe.
So isn't it to kind of pragmatic?
Trying to think. This is gonna piss me off as well.
I know it. It's like so it wasn't nepotism. It was like
nihilism, maybe.
That might be why I was thinking the end.
Who was in Paris?
What? Hello. Okay. No, but that's kind of more like me. I suppose yes, it is. Maybe this is a lot nearer. The rejection of all religious and moral principles in the belief that life is meaningless. It makes it sound very negative. I wouldn't really include the religious stuff with it, but looking at like what will be, that's not really necessarily meaningless.
What about laissez-faire?
What?
Laissez-faire.
That was some motherfucking language there, what was
that? It's like I know some history class. L-A-I Fair.
Oh. Hey.
F-A-I-R-E, I think fair is.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I think it's L-A-S-S-I-E-Z.
Wait, what? Hold on 1 second. I definitely misheard you completely. Say that again.
L-A-S-S-I-E-Z F-A-I-R-E, I think.
Oh, it's one word?
No, 2 words.
Oh, okay. Policy of leaving things to take their own course without interfering. That's yeah, I think that's about it. Never heard of that before, but I'm going to try and learn how to pronounce that first. How do you do it?
Laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire.
It's the only thing history class ever taught me.
Oh! Your history class apparently taught you more than me, it seems. I hated history in school, but then after I left school, I loved history.
I had the exact same thing happen because I realised something my history teacher told me like quite early on in the year was that all information is biased.
Yeah.
And history in itself is just learning how to analyse a source of information.
Yeah.
Which in this day and age is really important.
Yeah, history is written by the winners.
The winner takes it all.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing as well, we always forget this a lot, that history is kind of happening right now, still. I mean, there's going to be a big part in it. We're basically at the beginning part of a world war right now, essentially. Pretty much, most likely. But At least you got to survive for that. There you go.
Oh, yes. At least now I get to go to war.
There you go, man. Banging. Well, you have a reason not to, you know.
Oh, yeah, the legs.
Yeah, well, just in general, you've had like previous stuff. You're like that. No. Exemption.
You know, actually, because I'm on warfarin now, the blood thinner, if I hit my head, I have to go to hospital.
Yeah, because it doesn't coagulate as much and that.
Yeah, and I have like a card now where like if I show them it at A&E, I'll be like, I'm on warfarin, and they'll basically just, like, send me right through.
Yeah.
Got the Disney fast pass to A&E.
Yeah, man. Well, next time you go there, make sure you get on all the rides. Or don't take it. Don't. Yeah, don't go back there. But if you do, go on the rides.
On the rides. The wheelchairs at the very least.
Yeah.
Won't go on the ECMO again. That was one of the less fun rides.
What actually was that? Was it just like a...
Well, no, the ECMO, it's the extracorporeal membrane oxygenator. It's basically they put a tube in your neck and a tube in your thigh, and then it takes the blood out of your body, oxygenates it, and then it puts it back into your body.
Okay, yeah. So it's like a transfusion kind of thing.
Well,
kind of like a transfusion, but like cleaning your own blood then kind of thing. Doing something.
Well, it just does what your lungs do, basically.
Oh, okay.
Because like that's just like I was doing a bit of research on it, and it just does what your lungs do. Because my lungs obviously failed because.
Oh, like the chemically shifts that they do.
Or just oxygenating it, I think.
Yeah.
All that.
I get what you mean. Yeah, rather than like I was thinking then when you said it like an iron lung, that does the physical part.
Yeah.
And then so you kind of your blood goes in and then they do stuff so that your blood then has what it needs that it would have got from the lungs. I'm with you. I feel like I learned stuff today. I learned stuff today.
I actually I learned quite a decent bit about like the hospital like lingo and stuff like that. Like what I had was referred to as bilateral P's, which means bilateral pulmonary embolisms.
Oh wow, okay. Oh, so embolisms are blood clots then. Oh, okay. I never realised that. I've heard that word so much.
I thought it was pulmonary edemas at first, and I quite embarrassed myself in front of some very savvy nurses.
Well, to be fair, I should hope they're used to knowing more about medical than everyone else. I fucking hope.
They're like, oh fuck, it's embolisms.
Man, I've said this over there. It's like a good little thing to end on. Like, I'm sure you agree with this more so than anyone now. Then, like, it just makes no sense to me why they're just constantly not giving the NHS more money. I just don't understand this.
It being in the hospital that long and like seeing how, even then, I feel like a big part of it is just mismanagement. And
I agree with you.
And the funding is big too. But if the NHS was managed and funded better, this would be a much better country.
Yeah. So maybe there's something wrong with the people at the top of it all then, most likely. Because it's not just the money getting to them, it's also who's getting the money and what it's going for. Which, what a surprise, the people at the top are corrupt as well.
Yeah.
Weird that.
Oh, I remember seeing this Reddit post I was in hospital about like hospital managers. I think it was mainly like American hospitals, but they get paid millions a year to just like walk around and just be like, everything's fine.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's going that way. Whatever America do, it's going that way over here at the moment. There's already like a lot of privatisation that has gone, like a lot of things that have gone to like American privatisation style things. It's coming in. That's I think the only reason why they're not trying to sort it out as well as they could, or putting the people in to manage it properly, kick the idiots out. It's because the more and more it happens, the easier it is to like do the whole privatisation thing, because then they get money. And we will also be happy because we'll actually get healthcare then, decent healthcare, or we get decent healthcare when it's really needed, but I think it's hard to go around. One. Yeah,
I know what you mean. Cause obviously, like I said, like I was like basically on death's door for a while,
and I had to come through when you need them, though. Yeah, normally.
But I had to wait like a decent while. Like when they realised it was bad. Go.
Yeah. But that might have just been because you were doing a good job of trying to chill through it. Oh,
even then, like I said, half the A&E waiting room was staring at me like, what the fuck's on with this guy?
But they might have just thought you were drunk or something. Do you know what I mean? Or on drugs. You're a young dude. I probably would have thought that, to be fair. And knowing you, I'd still probably think that.
Oh, I wish I was on drugs.
We'll just drive back up and then you can get back to the days. Right then, Yeah, I'm guessing you probably haven't got any plugs you want to do.
I said last time I'm starting a cult. It's going to be pretty good. If you go to www.cult.com, you'll find me there. We're going to have the best cult in the world. I did cheat death, so I'm technically a deity right now.
Yeah, you died and came back to life twice.
Maybe even 3 times.
Well, you got at least one up, Jesus. Maybe 2. You could definitely start.
Yeah, Jesus only died once.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
And came back, and it took him days. Took him days to come back. I bet you came back within like what, a minute or so.
I probably want myself back. I'm sure I did CPR myself.
Yeah, I imagine so too. You did it in your dream.
Maybe I am actually the second coming of Christ.
Maybe no. You're the first coming of Marc Ley. Yeah, there we go. That seems like the place to end right there.
Man, I actually really want to start a cult now in a weird way.
There you go. I think I might join.
I'm legitimately going to start a cult.
Cool. I'll get in touch with the people for the robes.
Robes.
We'll have to find a large premises. We'll take over a farm. It's fine. Take over a farm. That's what cults in America probably do. We'll do that.
We're like the next Mansons.
Yeah, boy.
We're going to do it.
Yeah.
My own cult.
There you go. I'm going to be second in command, and I'll have like a tattoo of your face on the back of my head. And then when you don't want to do stuff as well.
You need to get a tattoo with the pressure sore on the back of your head, actually.
No, wait.
Oh wait. So you could like turn around and like.
Yeah, I'll have a hood up, like Voldemort and stuff, in the original Harry Potters, before it was transphobic. That.
Is that like an actual problem with the films now?
No, but there was you might have missed this. There was a new Harry Potter game that come out, Hogwarts Legacy, and when it came out, anyone that was playing it on Twitch and stuff started getting like harassed like that, doing like a planned thing by like trans groups and all that. But something like the Twitch people though, because they're so suave on like computer shit though, since they realised what was happening, they just went in and just fucked up all their computers and that, like get viruses and shit, so they were just done.
That's the internet. The internet has no chill. It's actually
amazing.
Oh.
And then wherever you wanted, there's cats having fun, and then cats having fun on porn. I was gonna say. But what are you gonna say?
I said cats having fun. What did you say?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we wouldn't want to chop cats' heads off.
No.
Well, I mean, we would. But
yeah, you got me.
Laws, Right, then, let's end this anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you very much, people. You don't need my plugs. You're on the channel. Look down.
You're here.
You're here already. Why? Window for you. Thank you.